Greetings and blessings. Today, I want to share a topic raised by Ricardo Melo about the importance of persistence. If there is a virtue that can help us heal pain, fears, and bad behaviors, it is persistence. If there is a virtue that feeds our spirit to learn new things, to read, to study, take courses, and grow in general, it is persistence. If there is a virtue that helps us believe in unity, in family, in friendship, in our careers, and in our spiritual journey, that virtue, it is persistence. But not just any persistence, a persistence with wisdom, a persistence connected to our secret self, a persistence above all connected to God. Persistence is not easy in a world of trials and spies. Our psychic atmosphere can feel heavy. We carry a past of very strong pains and anguish kept in the subconscious. We reincarnate, and even if we have forgotten the past, those memories remain present in our subtle bodies. Believe it or not, that is why we have tendencies since childhood. Some are afraid, some are less. Some are courageous, and some less so. Some are kinder, others less so. God does not create anyone like this out of preference. Because if we were, God could not be God. He will not be benefiting in some more than others. We inherit our tendencies, and then what happens? The universe tends to exaggerate our tendencies. If you are already a good person, the universe will give you many opportunities to do even better. If you have tendencies towards lack of control, excess, or impulse, the universe will also show you many possibilities to give those tendencies an outlet. If you are a selfish person, if you seek power or money at any cost, the universe will also offer you scenarios for that. But at the same time, if you have tendencies of holiness, enlightenment, kindness, and service, the universe will also give you the opportunities to manifest them. The universe is like a self service. When you go to a self service restaurant and you have the plate in your hand, you choose what you are going to put on your plate. So it is up to you to choose the quality of what you are going to experience in your life. That is why being persistent means knowing where you are channeling your persistence. Because many of us are persistent in the wrong things. There are people persistent in maintaining a vice for decades. There are people persistent in speaking ill of others. There are people who persist in harming themselves, attracting imbalances, creating enmities, and feeding energies that only makes the soul sick. There are people who persist in being undisciplined. They do not read, they do not study, they do not learn, they do not transform themselves, and they always make excuses. I do not have time, I am old, I am tired, I am sick. But many times, deep down, what is missing is not a possibility. It is a decision. It is will. It is to get out of laziness. And we need to understand this to get out of that negative state. Laziness is one of the great enemies of the soul. If we make mistakes, we can still strive to repair and improve. But when laziness dominates, the person invents 1,000 excuses not to move forward. There are people who are persistent in laziness. Persistence is only a virtue when we channel it into the right direction. And what is the right sense? Be persistent in good habits. Be persistent in learning habits that free you from your old self and bring you closer to your divine self. Be persistent in speaking good and positive things. Be persistent in cultivating good positive thoughts. Be persistent in freeing yourself from anxiety. Learn to live in the present moment with an attentive mind to here and now. To be persistent in compassion towards all beings. To stop judging. To do good to nature, to animals, and to people. To be persistent in faith, in God. Above all, is to place God at the center as our main strength. Because whoever seeks the things of God, everything else will be added to him. So we need to be persistent in good and positive things. It is not enough to cultivate a virtue over and over again. We need to persist. Persist in praying or meditating every day. Persist in setting aside time for God, for ourselves. Persist in reviewing our values. Persist in looking inward. At the end of the day, review what you did, what you stopped doing, the good, the wrong, so that through self reflection, you can evolve. That is acting with conscience. Because if you do not use the power of your persistence to heal, what will happen? You will continue to be blocked. Your prosperity will continue to be less. You will continue to shrink, attracting energies that you certainly do not want to have. If you persist in the wrong things, you will attract that which corresponds to your choices. That is why Jesus taught us, you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. The teaching lives on for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. So remember, we are called to let our light shine. The spiritual promise is alive for those who wish to awaken. Therefore, in this channel, we want to invite you to persist in the right things in life. Persist in healthy relationships. Persist in the search for peace within the family. Persist in the wisdom of conversing with people who think differently from us instead of fighting. Persist in creating bridges between souls and not walls of intolerance. Persist in goodness. Persist in prayer. Persist in discipline. Persist in inner renewal. Persist in equilibrium. Let us use this beautiful virtue that God allowed us to cultivate in a wise way. Do not give up on yourself. Do not give up on your light. Do not give up on your process. Maybe you have fallen many times, but you can get up again. Maybe you have stumbled many times, but you can learn again. Maybe you have lost many times, but you can start over again. True persistence is not stubbornness. It is the fidelity to the good. It is commitment to one's own evolution. It is the decision to continue advancing, even if the path is demanding. So think fondly about what you are being persistent about. Your vices or your virtues. Your excuses or your possibilities. Your fears or your faith. Your old self or the luminous being that you are and can awaken. We hope that this reflection will help you to choose better. We hope that it will help you channel your inner strength towards that which elevates you. We hope that it will help you to persist in good and positive things, even when it's not easy. Because those who persist in the good, sooner or later, it blooms. And if today you feel tired, let this be your gentle reminder that your next small choice still matters. You do not need to transform everything at once. You only need to keep choosing one aligned step, one honest breath, one wiser action at a time. That is how the soul strengthens. That is how the mind softens. That is how the body begins to trust the path again. And if you are someone who has been living on autopilot, I invite you to pause tonight and ask yourself what you have been repeating. Ask whether that repetition is feeding your peace or feeding your pain. Ask whether your persistence is building your future or quietly draining your spirit. Then choose again with love. Choose a habit that supports your health. Choose a thought that brings clarity. Choose a word that blesses instead of wounds. Choose a moment of silence. Choose a prayer. Choose a walk in nature. Choose a page of learning. Choose a conversation that opens the heart. Choose the kind of persistence that makes your life more balanced, more conscious, and more alive. And if you've been waiting for a perfect sign, perhaps this is it. The sign is that you are still here. The sign is that your spirit still longs for more. The sign is that your heart still knows the way back to harmony. To keep going with patience, keep going with humility, keep going with gratitude, keep going with faith, and keep going in the direction of the good. because the good, when nurtured with persistence, becomes a beautiful way of living. Till next time, lots of blessings.